90% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
It's not that they don't have the athletes.
They good kids, though. They good kids. You got to change up every once in a while.
Is that what it is, Tyrone? Are they good kids or are they good kids?
Good kids. Good kids.
Yeah, they are good kids. I agree.
Tyrone, tell your people you're doing a TV show, man.
Right. Tell the folks down
Tell the people down in Florida, man. What
I got to meet him in Atlanta. We got a game tomorrow.
Oh, it's Georgia Dome?
No, at Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Okay, that's right. So you're going to catch the first thing smoking out of here after this show
Yeah,
is over.
got a private plane waiting on me.
Crop duster.
Yeah.
'Cause you know,
Ride.
now Terry and Tommy, they get the private jet.
I get to the plane.
Tyrone get the crop duster. So you're going to be flying about
you get
200.
soul plane, Snoop flying the plane.
You get about 200 feet off the ground from here to Atlanta.
You're right.
Watch out for the power lines.
You're right.
That's all I can say for you, Tyrone. But like you talk about Martez blitzing, yeah, he comes off the edge, like you said, no containment. Show me what Missouri showed in that first game, where every time Illinois set up in the spread, somebody came off the corner, Juice could not set up.
Get the ball out of their hands quick.
That's it. Now, if they do make a play on offense, it's a big play.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, what happened? Juice rhythm was thrown off in that Missouri game because they were blitzing. Other teams come at the quarterback and blitz like that. That's what you have to do to spread offense. When other teams are running it, you got to go out there and you got to create pressure. And our 4 down linemen just don't create pressure.
Now you got to have pressure up front.
You know.
You get pressure up front, it takes relief off the linebackers, free safeties, corners.
But when the 4 guys are not putting pressure out
Then
there,
you're putting pressure on the other guys. Because 9 times out of 10, your
Man,
front
drink
4,
y'all juice, because I beg
your
to
front
differ.
4,
Drink the juice, because I beg
your
to differ.
front 4
They are getting
back
enough
into
pressure.
linebackers, which got to move. You're creating traffic jams.
hold on a second.
They get enough pressure, man. The DBs are not covering.
Oh,
How many sacks did Illinois have last week?
what, 4?
I think that's enough. Was you supposed to get 8 a game? Really? Who gets 8? Who get 8 sacks a game?
And really, I don't think it's about.
Seriously, who gets 8 sacks a game?
It's not about those numbers. I think it's the pressure.
Stepman, he had him for you next week.
He ain't gonna show me a team that get 8 sacks a game.
No, but it's not about 8 sacks. I think it's about pressure.
Pressure, yeah,
and
you're
rhythm.
right.
And if you can't execute your offense in the rhythm that you've got it
Look
set
at-
up for, and that I'm telling you, that defense is not
Look,
creating enough pressure
Joe,
on that side.
Look
of
at
the ball.
every big play that Wisconsin made last week. Short slants that went the distance. They hit nothing over the top. Nothing. That means that they are giving too much cushion on the outside, and the receiver, the biggest play of the game, receiver came from the right side on a slant and went 49 yards.
But
They
that-
ran by the whole defensive backfield.
But that's why if that's
Pressure, man. That's getting the ball out of their hands quick.
No,
The
they're
DBs
delivering it quick. That's not getting it out of there quick. They're delivering it quick.
right.
because
DBs are
you can see-
giving too much of a cushion,
Preach
man.
on, preach on.
That's why I want them to come up and show some pressure, because a slant is a timing route. 3-step drop, boom, out of the quarterback's hand.
If your front 4 is getting penetration, it'll mess up that timing.
And they're not, and that's the point I'm making. They're
Okay,
not
you
getting enough
just
penetration.
said it right there on a 3-step drop. How much pressure can you get on a 3-step drop?
Get a whole lot.
And
You
you,
can do it.
and you let it go.
If you're bringing guys off the corner and off the edge and pressure up the middle, if you're bringing more rushers than they got blockers,
Hands up.
that can change. Because a lot of times receivers will go to a hot route, and they may not have the same communication with the
I think
quarterback.
the front 4 doing a good job, man. It's on the outside, man, to where, yeah, keep drinking. Keep drinking. It's on the outside, man, for real. The front 4 got good numbers this year.
I think it's taking effect.
Yeah.
I see the pressure.
Keep believing. That's what he
Well,
doing.
what do you believe in? I know you ain't believing in that, what you got on your shirt.
Oh, I'll coach him.
I believe in the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and good Illinois Kool-Aid.
Good.
The
ain't
thing about it, what I said at first, beginning of the year, 6-6, I'm sticking with it.
Well, I'm gonna say this before we start talking about this Iowa Illinois game tomorrow at 2:30. They got 4 games left. They're 4-4. He said 6-6. At the beginning of the year, I said 8-4, 7-5. Right now,
I said 8-5.
if they don't win the game tomorrow, we could potentially be looking at a 5-7 or 4-8 season. And the reason why I say that,
Lose out.
they lose tomorrow. They go up to Detroit and play, was it Central Michigan?
Western.
Western Michigan? That's not a gimme.
That's a MAC team. You know what they? You know how they coming.
Talk about Ohio, Miami of
Hey,
Ohio.
spread.
it out and sling it around. And we just talked about the deficiencies on the defense. Then you got Ohio State coming into town,
Paybacks.
chip on the shoulder just like Wisconsin.
Man,
and they're
Ohio
doing-
State better find an offense. They better find an offense.
It would not be a looking ahead game.
Well,
'Cause
here's-
Michigan,
it wasn't a looking
if
ahead-
Michigan
looking ahead
is
game
not
last year.
racing nothing up in Ann Arbor, but
Man,
the flags for the
you as a
national
coach,
anthem.
man, you the last person that we should be talking about
And then
somebody
Northwestern.
looking ahead.
And Northwestern up there in Evanston, the way they're running their offense,
They
and
do.
we keep talking about.
Northwestern.
Yeah, they better
quarterback.
get healthy. They
They-
got to get healthy.
But hold on a
But
second.
but going back to them other games,
We believe.
They got to get healthy.
Now tomorrow,
tomorrow.
Sean Green,
This is what they got to
not
do
that
tomorrow.
Sean Green, but Sean Green.
This is what they got to do tomorrow.
And the Iowa Hawkeyes come into town, 5-3.
Oh, they here.
Well, yeah, they here.
Leading rusher in the country. 8 100-yard games.
There you go.
Now, what Illinois has to do tomorrow, stop kicking off first. Take the ball. Score.
Right. Put pressure on them.
Iowa's a running team.
Right.
Somehow, some way, get a stop. Score again. Now, let's see if Iowa can come back by running the ball.
And I agree with everything you just said there. But what is how many yards did Wisconsin rush for last week?
Too many.
Bingo.
I said this is what they have to do. Will it happen?
with a backup running back.
That's it.
Yeah,
We'll go to-
well, okay, he was a backup in August, Bundy.
Yeah,
The
we'll
man's
go
the
to-
leading rusher in the country.
We'll go to phone line
Come on, man.
328-8280. Call and tell us your name, where you're calling from, tell it like it is.
Hey, my name's Doug. I'm from Champaign.
What's going on, Doug?
What's that?
I said, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much. Happy Halloween to the trick-or-treaters out there. And Illinois Iowa prediction. You got to watch out for Green, obviously. And I don't know. I think Iowa's gonna win. Unfortunately.
Give us a score, Doug.
24-21.
44-21?
24.
24-21 Iowa.
24-21 Iowa. Man,
It's gonna be a close game.
you know what? The spread right now is 2.5 in Vegas for Illinois, which means it's a pick 'em. And the Sagarin got it 1.49, so you know it's a toss-up game right now. What's going to be the key in the game tomorrow?
Stopping Green.
Stopping Green. Couldn't have said it better yourself. Appreciate your call, Doug.
Make
All right, peace, guys.
Hit us
make-
anytime, man.
Making Iowa beat you in the air. That's what they're gonna have to do.
And that's why
How do you do it?
here's how you do it. Walk them safeties up, walk them cornerbacks up, 7, 8, 9 in the box if you have to, and dare the Iowa quarterback to beat you.
Yeah, that's the only way.
That's
'Cause
why I said, please.
if Iowa
blitz.
is turning up yards on the ground, Juice and the boys is on the sideline.
You got
Right.
to do this.
That's it.
Press.
You got it. Cornerbacks got to be in their face, breaking that timing up, and you got to go in there, even if it's a 3-step drop. I want to see hands up from the defensive lineman jumping in the air, linebackers shooting the gap, safeties coming off the edge.
But they
the
good
whole
kids.
nine.
They good kids.
Tyrone, is that what Bobby taught you when
The
y'all
key,
was growing
the
up?
key to tomorrow, Illinois has
Yeah.
to score early first. They got to score first.
And often.
Score a couple times early. Like I said, take the ball out of Green's hand and make them pass. That's the only way Illinois is going to win. They get too many penalties, and the special teams is not good enough. You know, we've been harping on that all year. You know, the penalties. I mean, a lot of people talk about the game Juice had last week. Nobody mentions the fact that he threw 3 first downs on 3rd down that got called back for penalties.
Right.
Which changes a drive. It kills a drive in the other team's territory. Those are big plays, man. It might not seem like it right now when it happens, but you know, over the course of a game, those are huge plays.
The margin, and we talked about this last week, the margin of error for Illinois is reduced drastically due to 2 things. Number 1, their defense doesn't turn the ball over. Number 2, their offense turns it over a little too much.
Right.
Yep.
So when we score points, we have to score points because our offense may give the ball to Iowa on a short field situation, and if that
On their
happens,
30.
the defense ain't good enough to stop them on their 30. That's one issue. The second issue is running back by committee. Daniel Dufresne may not be available tomorrow. You're going to have basically 2 freshman running backs with LaShore and Ford being expected to go out there in a mid-afternoon Big Ten rival game and go out there and run
Against a
that
tough
ball
defense.
effectively.
Has a very tough defense against
Yes, they
the run.
do.
Remember what happened last year up there?
Yeah, they held one of the best running backs in the country to what? 80 yards,
That's
70,
it.
70 yards,
That
70,
was-
80 yards?
Yeah, excellent point. Wait a minute. I gotta get some of that.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you,
Y'all
boys,
better be glad we on
contagious.
TV, man.
It's-
Y'all finna go to my high-pitched voice in a minute.
He get ready to
You might well.
You know when I go to my high-pitched voice.
Hey, hey, they good kids, but as long as he don't do the tap. When you do the
right.
tap,
If you don't tap,
gotta go to commercial break.
Oh, you gonna go there, dude? You gotta go to commercial break.
The first commercial on public access TV. I'll holler at y'all later.
Tap it out like Kimbo Slice.
Oh, yeah. And it won't be fixed.
No, won't be going to an after party. After party after this. I will say this: looking
Y'all
at
right, bro.
the coming back home, this is a must-win game for Illinois. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand
Man, let me drink to
how
that,
critical
man.
this game because this game can decide not only bowl eligibility, but some other things in terms of the domino effect of
If they don't win tomorrow, then they got a young team. Keep in mind, they play 14 freshmen. Who knows how many sophomores?
right.
Then this comes into play. You know, they start thinking about it.
That's it. And I think they're already thinking about it now. But now you're at home, I think the pressure is ratcheted up even more in the fact that you just laid an egg up in Wisconsin. You know, you came off a high 2 weeks ago, dropping 55 on Indiana. Now the doubt starts to creep in. Can I do it again?
And that, I think as a whole community, that's what we fail to forget. I mean, it sounds like an excuse, but it's true. Illinois is probably one of the youngest team in the Big Ten. And I think the community put too many high expectations on this team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we're being brought back to reality. You know, so yeah, drink up, man.
What's wrong? Your elixir? You can't get the top off?
Oh, yeah, shake it up.
Are they not the youngest team in the Big Ten?
You shake it, you getting it fixed. Drink, take that shot. Take a hit of it. See what happens.
He must agree with what I said. That's why he drinking. He must agree.
I told you. That's some powerful stuff there.
Yeah.
Woo-wee. Ain't nothing like orange boot Kool-Aid. Right
Do you
before
not
a big
agree with
line
what I
like
just
that.
said or something?
I agree.
Okay. all
But
right.
here's the thing on the
But I knew.
expectations.
I knew.
Expectations were not unrealistic based off of the old saying, past performance is not an indicator of future results.
But I knew-
You go 9-3. And before the season started, what did we talk about? Schedule.
Yep.
Your tough games last year were all played at home. The toughest game this year that's been played at home will be Ohio State in a couple weeks. All the tough games had on the road. And because of that flip-flopping schedule, winning is, you talked about it earlier, about the mental. When you walk on the field, if I'm a USC, I'm a Texas, you know, those elite programs, you know, Florida State, back when you was
Oh,
just
man,
a little,
okay, so
when you was a little kid.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when you was,
Something
you
out,
was
man.
selling popcorn.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, those programs walk on the field with a swagger.
He wasn't allowed in the stadium when he was a little kid.
That's why I said he was selling popcorn.
Outside the stadium.
They got a different interest.
MC Hammer did it.
All the other players, they knew not to mess with, you know,
Right.
they knew not to mess with him.
Leave Tyrone alone.
Right.
Wink,
Hey,
wink.
Don't mess with Tyrone.
Yeah, you know, Pops
Don't let him in the stadium, but don't mess with
All
Tyrone.
right, get back.
But I'm looking at the fact that the mental edge that those type of teams have, when they walk on the field,
They don't care where they're playing at.
they know they're going to win.
They play here.
If they lose-
Tommy Stewart Field up in Rantoul.
On the cement,
Tommy Stewart Field ain't in ran too, man.
Or I said in Rantoul.
Oh,
you know,
That's
say,
Bill
man.
Walsh Field up there.
but they play.
Yeah. You think I didn't know that? I've been some recruiting around here.
I see.
Recruiting.
Well,
But I knew they good kids. But I knew if Illinois season fall apart, they would blame it because they're young.
right.
They,
It ain't fell
getting
apart
ready,
yet.
They getting ready for their fall
ain't
back.
fell apart yet.
Oh man, we just young.
It ain't fell apart yet. I bet you if you go
Y'all
back
guys-
and
y'all
look, if
guys
you go back and
expect
look
too
at
much.
the News Gazette,
You,
I said
y'all
myself
guys
8 and
expect
5.
too much out of your
I
team.
said myself 8 and
You're
5.
young, you got lucky
It's
and
8
went to the Rose Bowl last year.
How is
you got
winning 9
lucky.
football games lucky, man?
It was
Football
luck.
is not
You
about
don't
luck,
deserve-
bro.
They didn't deserve to go to the
So-
Rose Bowl.
so,
and you see what
okay.
happened when you don't deserve
It's not
something.
our fault that they went to the
You
Rose
get
Bowl. It's not our fault.
spanked.
We
That's
won
just
9 games and
stealing-
we
that's
played
just
where they asked us to
stealing.
play at.
That's just like stealing, and you know it's wrong, and you do it anyway.
They won 9 games. The fact that they went to the Rose Bowl had nothing to do with 9 games. The committee asked them to play in the Rose Bowl and they went.
But this
Winning
year,
9 games is not lucky.
but let's get back to this year. 4-4 right now.
Keep on believing.
8 and 5 is still attainable.
I'm not saying it's not still attainable. I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
The mental psyche of this team. Do you think they're gonna end up 8 and 5?
Nope.
Or 8 and 4?
Yeah.
They're 4-4 with 4 games left.
Going into this season, name the teams that you thought Illinois was going to lose to.
The teams I thought they were gonna lose to, I thought they were gonna lose to Penn State,
Missouri.
Ohio State, Missouri, Wisconsin,
And Michigan.
and Michigan before
So have they not lost to those teams?
No, they beat Michigan.
they beat Michigan,
Okay.
but they've lost to the other
But
teams.
put the Minnesota game back.
Right.
Okay, that's
Back to
what you-
perspective.
Okay, so the way the teams that you just named, when you say that they on pace,
For a 7-5 season.
or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I
7-5.
said. I said 7-5, and Bun said 6-6. They're on pace for that right now. If they win the game tomorrow, that's why I said tomorrow is so crucial. It's not about the fact that they don't have the potential to win. My point is this game tomorrow is so crucial for this season, in the fact that they lose that game to Iowa tomorrow, the wheels do come off. Because now you have to go on the road to play a MAC team.
Nah,
that,
no
you
problem,
know,
no sweat.
I would.
Nah, no sweat.
If this was last year,
No
no
sweat.
sweat. This year,
This year, man.
sweat. Then you go to Ohio State comes here, chip on their shoulder. We go to Columbus. We play well in Columbus all the time, but we don't beat Ohio State here. That's the other thing. And then
One
you
thing
gotta-
they do is they play Ohio State tough every time they play them.
I said we don't beat them here.
Yeah, well,
You
it's
know.
first time for everything, man.
That. Hold on.
First time for everything.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Put it together.
Get a shot of this, Bruce.
Put it together.
We're gonna put this together. You know what? I'm gonna see what happened. Oh, it's bubbling. Oh,
That's a concoction.
Ooh.
Man, I
That
cannot
is-
wait. I cannot wait till Illinois end up 8-4.
And you know what?
If
I think-
Illinois end up 8-4, I'm sitting there on the last show.
You're right.
And we
Hey,
will
they end
let-
up 8-4. Steak dinners for everybody.
There you go. And you,
I ain't say what kind of steak, but a steak dinner.
Whatever, man. I don't eat steak.
we'll be a steak and shake a couple of last shows. What he's saying. When he says steak dinner, that means the number 2 with the large fry. And can we get the side by side shakes? See,
Dang.
boy, you don't put your money where your mouth is. Because I know if this was for you, we'd be over at the ribeye right now.
You're right.
Yeah. Come on, Tyrone Bowden.
You're right.
Spend some of Daddy's money.
Okay.
But like I said, that's Illinois tomorrow. My prediction, I'm gonna go with the Illini
7-5.
21-17, close game.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna say they're gonna put too many points on the board because I still think they're gonna be tight after what happened last week with Wisconsin. I just don't know if Iowa has enough in terms of their passing attack. If Illinois walks their safeties up and plays press coverage, like Coach Tyrone Bowden said, get a victory tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
What's your score, Tyrone?
I'm going to say 31-21. Hawkeyes.
31-21, Hawkeyes.
If they scored 31 points, that means Sean Green had ran for about 275.
It ain't impossible.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I'm just putting it out there.
And like I said, the final thing I'll say.
I mean, I'm just saying because they don't throw the ball, man. That means they doing something to score 31 points.
well,
They might come out and surprise everybody tomorrow.
Let's think about this. You know,
4 wide, go deep.
common opponents. Iowa got Wisconsin in Iowa, and put what 38 on Wisconsin's head. Illinois went to Wisconsin last week, only put 17 on them. Obviously, styles and matchups, all that stuff comes into play. We'll see what happens tomorrow at 2:30. Be sure to tune into that game. But I'm gonna tell you right now,
We can
Illini
get the
fans-
Republican guy. He didn't get his prediction.
Oh well, we'll get Devon.
You know,
Well, hold on. Prediction on tomorrow's game. Iowa, Illinois.
Illinois 28, Iowa 17.
Illinois 28, Iowa 17.
Iowa 20. They'll kick 2 field goals.
2 field goals and 2 touchdowns by
Yeah,
Iowa.
28-20 Illinois.
Okay.
Juice good for 325, 85 yards.
Wow.
Big,
All right. Ben will get back on pace for 120.
If anybody out there, can you call us and tell us where you buy this Kool-Aid at?
Because we've been-
All right.
This must not be the
I'm
right
glad you say
Kool-Aid.
that. So you telling me that Juice, after one bad game, you telling me he's not capable of passing for 320 yards? He had a bad game last week and passed for 220.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's not possible? 320 is not possible?
No, it ain't
And
impossible.
surely 85 yards on the ground is. All right.
We're going to find out tomorrow. But I will say this.
Tomorrow.
I will say this before we move on to NFL.
You don't want to go there.
Illinois lose this game.
The wheels on the bus go falling off, falling off, falling off.
Man, shut up.
Uh-oh.
I'm about to go to my high pitched voice.
He almost went there. He went from Devon to Devin.
Big Wayne.
Big Wayne.
You keep talking, it's going to be
Joe,
big one.
look, Joe the plumber, exit stage left. I'm out of here. The NFL, we basically at the midway point, week 9 in the NFL, and there's a lot of surprises, a lot of disappointments,
Yes, it is.
a lot of crazy stuff going on. Tennessee Titans are what? They 7-0.
You know what they doing? They whooping. I ain't gonna say it on TV.
Right. Well, they done took a few people out.
Because they play them next week.
They took a few people out.
I ain't worried about that.
You know,
Come on now.
they put some whoopings on quite a few teams this year.
Ain't worried
Jeff
about
Fisher right now got to be coach of the year, bar none. Every year people say
If you
Jeff
can go
Fisher's
7-0 with Kerry Collins, you doing some coaching.
You go 7-0 with Kerry Collins.
You doing some coaching.
And Lindell White, fat butt back there,
And name a receiver.
and Chris Johnson.
Name a receiver.
There you go. What's the name from?
Gage?
Yeah. And then what's See,
Right.
There's the point.
Yeah.
That's why he got to be coach of the year.
Gotta be.
Gotta be. Now, another surprise team, Buffalo Bills. And guess who's coaching them?
Dickie J.
Dick Duran, the guy that couldn't coach the Bears out of a wet paper bag, is now one of the top teams in the AFC. I know it's early.
Early.
Nobody ever won the Super Bowl in November.
I'm tired of
But
hearing all that.
those-
Football is football. You got to play your schedule, and they ball.
You know, and they balling now.
You're right.
But like I said, let's see them in January. That's why I look for there. Now, on the disappointing side of the AFC, San Diego Chargers,
Yep.
the Superchargers, even though Damien's still not 100%, they lost Sean Merriman, they still should not be 2-5 right now. No way you can tell me that San Diego, with the talent they have on that team,
Right.
you got Vincent Jackson, you got Antonio Gates, and you got Phillip Rivers, one of the top young quarterbacks in the league, and you mean to tell me, and LaDainian, a 70% LaDainian
to go
is
back
still
on that,
better than
You know where they made a mistake at?
Letting the coach go. A couple years ago.
Letting Michael Turner leave.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't had no choice on that.
Oh, yeah, they did. They
Can't have the 2 highest paid running backs in the league.
Well,
How you gonna do that? Then where you gonna buy your defense at? But what I was gonna go back to say is, you know, in the NFL, man, your window of winning is so small, and they had that window right there, and it was open. And they let Schottenheimer go, and brought in Norv Turner, who's never won anything.
And he's not a head coach.
And that's what the problem is. The window shut down right when they was right there.
Right.
A coach that got fired after being 14-2. That's ridiculous.
They right there.
That's ridiculous. They was right there. I mean, no,
Right.
you take the next step the next year, they probably win that Super Bowl.
Yep.
You know, and now you see what's happening.
I agree. I totally agree. But Norv Turner never should be a head coach. Never should have been a head coach. Great offensive coordinator. Great coordinator when he was with
Right.
the Cowboys. And there are certain guys who are good X's and O guys, and there are other guys who are good guys in terms of being the CEO, where they can put all that
Good
stuff
head
together.
coaches and have great coordinators.
That's it. And he's not a good head coach. And now you start to see it. They just fired Ted Cottrell, bring
Right.
Ron Rivera down to be the defensive coordinator. I don't think that's going to change anything. I think, you know, now you're just putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound right now. That team, like Wayne said, the window is closed on them. Now another team in the AFC, Indianapolis Colts, age, injuries, and too much football. There's a point where your body starts to break down because you play too
Are
many
you going to the
games.
you
NFC,
forgot one
the
thing.
AFC Championship?
Open murder investigation.
Ain't no murder, man. Ain't nobody died, man.
Open murder investigation.
yeah.
What new respect is that?
Shooting, excuse me, shooting.
Shooting, right.
Open shooting.
You had me
Shooting.
scared.
Excuse me.
You sound like Isaiah. That's Isaiah Thomas over there.
Right,
boy.
falling out, talking
You
about that's my
falling-
daughter. That's
Right, you giving false information on there. Don't scare me. Wait a minute. Let me drink some of that Kool-Aid. 'Cause that's some real Kool-Aid.
Woo. Yeah, excuse me. Shooting.
yeah.
You're shooting, right. And with all these issues happening in Indianapolis, whether it be Joseph Adai hurting his hamstring, Peyton Manning not coming to
being more
training
hurt
camp
than
at
what,
all.
than what he really was.
Right.
Was staying.
And
you know?
then you got Marvin Harrison, even though he had the little shooting with no
Incident.
murder, the car while he shot a dude in the pinky toe or something.
He didn't do it.
Well, but he's 36.
He said he didn't do
He's
it.
what, 36 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
hundred.
Reggie
long in the
Wayne
tooth.
getting double teamed.
Yeah.
Dallas Clark can't catch now.
Now he get hit in the mouth a little bit too much, and the little seam routes, Peyton laying him out. And then on the defensive side, Booker McFarland. He was hurt early in the season.
Gone.
Dwight Freeney coming back from a knee injury. That takes another year to get ready. Bob Sanders
Defensive
out.
Player of the Year.
Right. Bob Sanders out with a high ankle sprain. Kelvin Hayden, Marlon Jackson, both injured.
Revamped team.
At some point, you just can't keep doing the same
And another thing, I
over and
just
over.
think the league has finally caught up to Indianapolis. You know,
Time
Yeah.
is up.
Yep.
That's it. Sands an hourglass.
That window is gone. I mean, they got theirs. You know, they got theirs in. So you
Yeah.
know.
The NFC, the best team in
Ain't
the
number one
NFC,
team. Ain't number one team.
the New York Football Giants.
That's the only team in the NFC.
And I hate to
Why
say
you said name another one?
Wow.
They
Name
are.
another one.
What, 16 other teams in the NFC?
But name another one that could beat them.
Cleveland beat them.
That's in the AFC.
It's a football team. The worst team in the AFC.
Yeah, right now I have to say the New York Football Giants best team in the NFC.
I did not say that, but I'm not going to say they're the only team.
They are.
Right
Okay,
now,
in
I'd
the
have to-
playoffs, in the playoffs, all it takes is one game like they played against Cleveland.
right now,
Black Republican. Name another NFC team you think could beat them right now.
Any of them, man. Any
Right
of
now.
them. The Bears.
Hold on.
The Bears.
Hold on.
The Bears. Now, I said it.
hold on a second. I was gonna pour this on my head
Yeah.
like a
Oh,
like a
boy.
The
championship.
Bears.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The Giants right now are separating themselves from the rest of the pack in the NFC today. As I said at the beginning, nobody's won the Super Bowl in November.
Look,
but
you
right
looking up
now,
in What
they
you
are the
looking up
best
there?
team
What's
in
up
the
there?
NFC.
Something
You know.
flying around up there.
Now,
Just keep my eye on it. That's all. Since you asked.
I guess.
You know, you talking, he look up in the sky like
something flying around
like
up
he
there,
waiting
man.
on the answers. Like,
right, I thought it was look. And then I looked up, I see it too.
Right, see?
Like,
you thought I was being funny, didn't you?
We need to talk to Public Works. Or who do we talk to in the city of Banner to get this
Right.
infestation taken care of?
Vince.
Vince, hey Vince, come holler at us. We got a flying object, and it is identified.
we're trying to do a TV
it's
show,
not
man.
a UFO. But back to the NFC, Giants got to be your surprise team. The reason why I call them a surprise team, even though they won the Super Bowl, I still don't think people.
Yeah,
with
they was
the
kind
loss-
of banged up coming into the season.
Well,
too.
Michael Strahan retired before the season started. Yukonuba.
Yep, he's
I'll tell
gone.
y'all problem, man. Y'all need to get Plaxico up out of there. For real.
Plaxico is like,
Dude, I don't know what's wrong with him, man.
no. I'm telling you, Tom Coughlin, I love what he's doing.
Set
He
him
said,
down.
guess what?
We don't need
You
you.
don't sit around. But my man, come on, man. You said you getting paid all the money. You sitting on TV like that.
Gang banging.
Heck, come on. If I was his mama, I'd say, boy, I'd call him boy.
Text.
If you don't get that hat on right, or take it off.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is for Plaxico Burress? What did he get before the season started?
Got them
this year?
chips.
Once an NFL player
Get what
gets
they-
his money, look what happens to him.
As they say down south, he ain't no good no more.
He ain't. He run.
He run.
He run.
Him run.
Him run.
What Rick James tell Charlie Murphy now?
They never should have gave y'all that money. And that's the problem. When you give them that kind of money,
Them? What?
Them.
Who's them?
you know, wide receiver, that guy. When you give wide receivers that kind of money,
Right.
that's what happens. Wide receivers and running backs.
Right.
Now you can pay quarterbacks. Certain quarterbacks
Right.
deserve their money because they're good guys and they
When
earn
you
it.
say certain what kind of certain quarterbacks?
The guys who've been in the league for over 5 years
Oh,
and have
okay.
won Super Bowls and produced. That's what I mean. What do you
Okay.
think I'm talking about?
No.
Hey, I'm Joe the Plumber. I mean, you understand the language I'm speaking, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm talking to real America right now.
Right.
I'm not talking to fake America. I'm talking to you, the people who understand
Yeah.
the hardworking Americans out there.
But yeah, I agree with y'all. The Giants head and shoulders above everybody else. But if they don't
Wow.
get this Plaxico Burris thing under control, it's going to eventually.
they got
it's
it
going
under
to be the
control.
TO effect.
They got
Eventually,
it. They got it under
you know
control.
what I'm saying?
You think so?
They set him on
Oh,
the
he
bench.
ain't gonna sit on that sideline too much longer without causing some problems in that locker room. But
Here's what they're going to have to do. Remember,
they're gonna have to
you know
do
what?
the Keyshawn
You know-
Johnson.
you know
They're gonna
what's
have to
gonna
do the Keyshawn Johnson. They're gonna have to.
Antonio
He's not
Pierce
allowed
gonna
in
get
the
him in
locker
the
room.
mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
Antonio Pierce gonna give him a Hugh Douglas shot.
I'm just saying they're gonna have to get him out of the locker
When
room.
Wayne just said
They're gonna have to
about
do the Keyshawn Johnson.
the Keyshawn Johnson, that's what the Giants may have to do is just go ahead and take the loss on the money in and let Plaxico go because you know, Tyrone, as long as you've been coaching, that when you get one guy, especially a go-to guy, who becomes a bad seed in the locker room,
And all it
That
takes
stuff
is for him to
spreads.
get in one of those young guys' ear. Man, see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about?
That's it.
Now he on the rebellious act,
And-
and it spills over.
the worst thing for a malcontent athlete like him is to know that he's
who?
needed. A malcontent.
Did we use some kind of words up here past? You
Right.
know.
Well, you know, I mean, Joe the Plumber, I've been hanging out with the McCain campaign, and they've been teaching
Right.
me a lot of this stuff.
Wow, malcontent.
You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, you know, back in Pennsylvania when I was just plumbing, you know. But now I got a publicist, I'm getting ready to give me a country western deal and write me a book. You know that, Tyrone? Oh, you still trying to make sure that daddy accepts you and
He said,
you know. But going back to what I said about Plaxico, when you know you're needed on a football team or any sports team, that's when the attitude gets real. That's why T.O. acts the way he does.
Right.
Because he mentally still believes he's needed. I think that's why Jerry Jones went out to get Roy Williams, is not to solidify the team, but to be able to ease T.O. off the sideline. And that comes to my disappointment. The most disappointing team, I say, in the NFC,
This is America's pick for the Super Bowl.
got to be the Dallas Cowboys. Got to be.
cancer.
All the talent they brought in.
Adam Cancer.
Adam Cancer started it first. Pac-Man came
No, I
in.
ain't gonna say he started first.
Oh,
He
yeah,
just
he did.
ended
Yeah,
on
he
in
did.
on what was already happening.
They've been baby him.
Man, look
Oh,
here.
we gonna have people follow you.
Adam
And all
was
of a sudden,
playing before.
He sit up there.
Adam was
he
still
sit up there
playing
and
when
went to the
T.O.
little-
started
went
crying
to the
about he
little
didn't get
party
enough touches.
and got out of chain.
But I still think.
Adam was still playing now when T.O. started crying.
But I still think that bringing him in.
Yeah.
I don't even think that the incident we talked about with the drinking and the bodyguard. I think just bringing him in.
Right.
Sent the wrong message.
You already brung in a locker room hazard with T.O.
And
I
you
mean,
already got a guy-
not to say these guys are bad guys out the field because you know T.O. has never done nothing to anybody, but as
No.
far as in the locker room,
Right.
now you got somebody like Tank Johnson. You never know when he's
He
going to
might.
screw up again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach on, brother. Preach
Right,
on.
right.
And then you bring in Adam.
And you
The
just,
king
And
of-
then you top
the
it off.
king of screw-ups.
Then you top it off with a Roy Williams.
Right.
Now he's a suicide case too.
Right, yeah, he don't seem wrapped too tight either. You know what I mean? he's not, like I said, you know, other than Pac-Man, these guys have never done nothing off the
Poor
field.
Romo scared. He
Well,
said, you know, with
right.
them big old ears, he talking about
Romo
smile.
said, man,
give me the
you know what, my
ball.
thumb,
Give me
bro.
the ball. I'll do something to you.
because you know, I
Romo
mean,
curled out and said his thumb, bro. I ain't good in that locker room.
you can't have those kind of guys around Tony Romo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What?
And poor Brad Johnson,
What
he
kind of
don't know
guy?
what to do.
Well, you know what I mean. Those kind of guys around Tony Romo, Brad Johnson.
You let me as a Republican speak like that, okay?
Okay, I'm just hey.
So,
I'm
but when you
I'm
have
with-
those guys,
that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, okay.
You know,
No, them guys.
them guys,
Them guys.
them guys.
Right.
You get those kind of guys around. You know, guys who don't want to work hard.
What? Time out. What's that girl? What you doing?
Somebody
That girl.
please call Stat Girl right now.
328-8280 because that
She
girl-
got a 1976 Ebony magazine. Now you know that's big as that piece of paper right there.
right. It's like this when you hold
Who on the
up.
cover? The Jackson 5?
I can't hold this magazine up on UPTV.
Oh, okay. Better
Oh, it's a
homes and
cover.
garbage.
Right.
You enjoy that magazine though, Stat Girl, while you're
But look.
looking out over there.
No Romo right now. Ain't got no defense.
Nope.
No Pac-Man.
Nope.
Possibly no Whitney.
And they're coming to the Big Apple
Right.
with a
Po-
quarterback that can't move out the pocket.
Right. Possibly no Whitney. All that adds up and equals to
They're falling fast.
No-
if
no
if
playoffs.
I know a whole lot of Cowboy fans. If
No
the Cowboys
playoffs.
lose Sunday,
no play. But
and
do you realize?
let the Redskins and Philadelphia continue,
Look, you got to take
You
the
can't bar- you
got to
can
take the
candy bar the
NFC
door.
West division winner, right? You got to take the North division winner. You got to take the South and the East.
It's
That's
gonna be-
four.
it's going to be two wild cards.
And there's
they
two
coming out
teams
the
ahead
East.
of Dallas already. Where they fit in at?
They don't.
Where they fit in at?
Now, to me, let's look at the NFC North because we talk about that a lot. Detroit, they're gonna get a memo from Roger Goodell that they are banned
from the league.
for the rest of the season. That's not a professional football team, so there'll only be 31 teams from this point on. The Bears, the Vikings, and the Packers are separated by one game. The problem for the Vikings, they lost to the Packers, and they've lost to the Bears, so they're down in the division to those games. Now, granted, those were two road games for the Vikings, but I'm going to put the Vikings as one of the most disappointing teams in the NFC because preseason,
A lot of people had them going to the NFC Championship game.
if this was purple, I'd be drinking the Kool-Aid right
Well,
now.
this almost purple.
You know, and Minnesota Vikings, Brad Childress needs to be fired, and here's why. He hitched his entire career
Tavares
to
Jackson.
Tavares Jackson. You know, one of those type of quarterbacks.
Right.
You know,
What the running quarter? Yeah.
running quarterback.
Yeah.
He thought it was McNabb the second.
Yeah, and he got McScab.
But Joe, how can you go into a season and naming a starting quarterback? You know, this is a Super Bowl, supposed to be a Super Bowl team. 2 weeks in, he's not the starter anymore.
That's my point about Brad Childress. That shows he has a poor ability to evaluate talent and his area in judgment. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with the Bear Viking game. When you sit there and continue to pooch kick to the Bears, and Devin Hester hadn't done squat on special teams all year, and you still doing that,
And everybody in the league knows Devin Hester is injured.
right?
He's
Well,
injured.
evidently they don't know.
Well,
Right.
he didn't get the memo.
They ain't got-
Right.
And then what was that? A 4th and 2 play that they needed for a
Fourth
first
and
down?
one for a first down. You got the biggest thoroughbred running back in the entire league, and Adrian Peterson, and you run a bootleg with a
With
quarterback
Gus.
who took his helmet and slammed it into a wall when he was young.
gave himself a concussion.
Concussion, right, and a sprained neck. And now, 15 years later, he's not going to run a bootleg and get a pass run option.
And expect him to outrun Urlacher
So,
and Briggs.
Coach Joe, what's the remedy?
He needs to be fired. And Bill Cowher,
Who would you bring? All right, quarterback. Who coming out? Who would you go after?
if I'm Minnesota, next year,
You are Minnesota.
yeah, I am Minnesota. I'm Joe the Plumber, and I'm a Viking fan. I make a run for Brady Quinn from the Cleveland Browns.
Sitting there not doing nothing.
Yeah, and he's a first-round pick. Could have had him when he came out in the draft a couple years ago.
Well,
Didn't make the move.
I think
If-
Mr. Anderson will leave before Quinn will because
Well,
they got
and if-
more money.
But if
Just like the John Kidner, Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're
John
good, but you go.
because let's look at your check.
Right.
This is right.
Okay.
How many zeros on your check? Two.
Not
Right.
How many zeros on his check?
10.
He stays, you go. Next guy, come on in.
Right.
Come on in and talk to him. That's the issue. They got to bring in a quarterback, but also a head coach. Bill Cowher, NFL Today, goes to Minnesota. Brad Childress can go back to Eastern Illinois and do whatever he teach. He can go down there and teach, do some correspondence court, whatever.
Right.
Get him out
He
of
can
there.
relieve Bob Spoo.
Other surprise team, I hate to say this, but I got to drink my Kool-Aid.
Drink it up. You too, Bunny. Drink it. Drink it.
I ain't drinking it.
Oh, don't then. Don't be surprised. We'd be the one that put y'all out the playoffs.
Bears are the surprise team.
Bear down, Chicago.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. Oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
That burned my lips right there.
you should.
But the Bears, 4-3. Let's be honest. With all the free agents they lost, with Bernard Berrian, with the change of quarterback going from Grossman to Kyle Orton, with Cedric Benson being
That was a good
gone,
thing.
same offensive line, and the aging defense.
Still no running game.
Still no run. Nobody would have predicted the Bears would be 4-3 right now. However, and I'm going to say this, as the anti-Bear fan,
Schedule's in their favor.
bingo. They'll be 5-3
Here we
after this
go.
weekend.
Here we go.
After this weekend, though, that's when you start the wheels. See the wheels
Man,
come off.
whatever, man. Come on.
That's when you see
God.
the wheels come off.
Can you teach me how to make my voice? Man, how you voice get
You
high?
gotta just, you know,
It's got to come natural.
you gotta feel,
it. You gotta feel it.
You gotta feel deeply about what you're talking about.
It
you know
comes
what
from
I
the
mean?
diaphragm.
You know,
It's like an opera singer.
I'll just be up here just running my mouth. Man,
Right
I
here.
feel what I'm talking about.
You
man.
feel it.
Right.
Feel it.
Gotta bring it from the gut, anime.
Keep on. He gonna sing that song, and he just can't.
Keep on believing.
Right. Now, like I said, only one game separates Packers, Vikings, Bears in the NFC North. The NFC South. Can you
Toss up.
believe the Carolina Panthers in first
I
place?
believe it.
They're 5-2.
They were a
Tampa
good team.
Bay,
You take Carolina from last year. Jake Delhomme got
Didn't
hurt.
play.
He
Right.
didn't play. They always had a good running game. And Steve Smith, he found out Fat Meat Greasy. He know now.
Right.
I bet he won't hit nobody else again.
I don't think he's gonna hit himself. I don't think he's gonna
Hold
tell
on, let me go to the locker room and
Right.
see. Come out with a black eye. Who hit you? I did.
did.
All right, let's practice.
Right, let's go. And don't suspend me, because I apologize to myself. I didn't mean to. The other thing going on, NFC West, Mike Singletary. I like this kind of party. He has
Before
lost.
y'all go,
Okay.
great coach. Great coach. We need more coaches like that. Them guys are being baby. I don't know what that man said to Mr. Davis to make that man get up off that heated seat
Dude.
and go to the locker room.
I'm going to tell
tell
you what
you-
he said to it.
What you read lips?
Yeah, he looked at him and he said, "They don't call me Samurai Mike for nothing. You want to get cut up? Stay out here on this bench. If you want to go home with your arms, your legs, and your head on your shoulder and your predator braids, you go in there and take a shower." And he picked his helmet up and walked right off.
You know what? For a coach that's established, you pull that.
Yeah.
But for a coach that's trying to win a team over, I don't think so.
No.
I don't
You
think
set the
so.
tone. No, Wayne.
No.
The San Francisco
I'm telling you.
49ers are in
I
disarray right
guarantee
now.
you.
They're going through
I
problems.
guarantee you, Vernon Davis got more friends on that team than Mike Singletary did.
But I tell you what, before we go any further, this has been a great conversation, 60 minutes of sports, but it's over. Joe the Plumber's got to go. But please, Sunday, WCFN, Channel 3 on cable, Channel 49 on DirecTV. Check us out, tell it like it is, 30-minute show. I'll be there, Big Bun will be there, Big Wayne will be there, Dollar Bill will be there. Check us out, 6 o'clock. Happy Halloween to everybody out there.
Yeah, you got your voice to go high. You felt that, didn't you?
He feeling
You
Jack-
felt that.
I'll be there.
feeling
You know,
Mike.
give him a tissue.
He feeling Michael.
Yeah, he feeling Mike. You and Bubbles?
Mike Singletary.
You sure?
Mike Singletary.
You ain't never been
Old
to
school coach.
Neverland Ranch, have you?
Yep.
Right.
Make me
You,
worry,
I met
bub.
you there.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Cut 'em so-
I was just dropping off the delivery.
Is that what you call it?
More food for Bubbles.
Okay.
He's out of here. But hit us, UPTV Channel 6.
You ready? Let's go.